Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Arcanine here, back with another video for you guys. I look like crap. I need to shave, and my hair is terrible. But I want to talk about movies right now. And so I think the last time I did a what I watched video was for January and February. So I'm not going to go through every movie that I've watched since then. But I'm just going to go through the highlights, and there probably won't be a lot of edits on this video, because I simply don't care enough. But I'm going to talk about some movies and recommend some for you guys, and you can leave it down in the comments, some recommendations, so if you've seen these movies, your opinions on them, whatever you want. So, March was pretty much, it was a standard month of movie watching, I'd say. Some of the highlights: WandaVision wrapped up in early March. I watched Raya and the Last Dragon, which was a trip to the theaters that hadn't happened in a long time, so that was great. Capote, starring Philip Seymour Hoffman, was quite good. I finished up watching the Scream trilogy for the first time with Scream 3, which wasn't great, but hey, I've seen the Scream movies now. My Neighbor Totoro is a great Ghibli movie that I watched that month. Rewatched Ford v Ferrari. Snyder Cut came out that month. It's really good. Gladiator. I finally got a chance to watch Gladiator. Gladiator is awesome. Rewatched Life of Pi. A cool documentary on sports and COVID, and that was about it for that month. Then we move on to April. Godzilla vs. Kong came out in April, and it was awesome. You can argue all you want. That movie's so much fun. I love it. Cherry with Tom Holland was not very good. Rewatched Black Panther. Phantom Thread. Daniel Day-Lewis is great. I thought it was good. It wasn't amazing. Milk, starring Sean Penn, was fantastic. Sound of Metal, I rewatched that. This was kind of the Oscar gear-up month, so I watched Nomadland, I watched The Father, I watched Minari, I watched My Octopus Teacher, which is a great documentary, and just a lot of good stuff. One thing I did watch that I thought was kind of overrated was 2001. I don't know, it just wasn't for me, I guess. Then we move on to May, which was my worst month of movie watching in forever. This is all I watched. Rewatched Tenet, Howl's Moving Castle, which was pretty good. I watched Saw. I rewatched No Country for Old Men, which is great. I watched A Quiet Place Part 2 in theaters, which was good. And I watched Collateral with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, which was good. That's it. Then we move on to June, last month. This was a great month for me. I watched a lot of great stuff. Mare of Easttown wrapped up, and it was great. I rewatched The Shawshank Redemption, one of my favorite movies of all time. Saw 2 was terrible. Man of Steel, rewatched it. It's still really, really good. I watched Skyfall, which I think is very overrated. I didn't like it, but I didn't love it. Memories of Murder, which is a Bong Joon-ho film, I thought was awesome. Dog Day Afternoon, it's a little bit overrated, but it's still very good. I'm glad I watched it. Once Upon a Time in the West was great. American Animals was great. American Animals is awesome, and if you haven't seen it, please seek it out. It is super underrated. I don't see anyone talk about it. It's fantastic. Princess Mononoke was another Ghibli film I watched that I liked. Bo Burnham Inside came out last month. I watched it last month, and I loved it. Rewatched Inception. How I Love You. It's so great. Rewatched BlacKkKlansman. Still great. Watched Luca, which I personally really loved. I understand the criticisms, and I understand why some people really don't like it. I thought it was great. Adaptation was awesome. It's pretty much just a totally self-aware, egotistical film, and it's really cool. I rewatched La La Land, which I still love. I watched The French Connection, which I thought was pretty boring, but I'm just not a neo-noir guy. I watched The Conjuring 3 with some friends, and it was good. And then I rewatched Creed, which I absolutely adore. And then this month so far, I've watched F9. It's terrible, but it's kind of fun. It's got some fun moments. I rewatched Shutter Island. Shutter Island is awesome, one of my favorite Scorsese films. I watched An American Pickle with Seth Rogen. My mom and I watched that, and we both thought it was very enjoyable. Rewatched Moneyball with Brad Pitt, which is very cool. It's awesome. I love it. And then I rewatched Reservoir Dogs, which Tarantino, how I love you. You're great. Thank you so much for Reservoir Dogs. I hadn't seen it in so long, and I loved it. I fell in love all over again. So that's where I've been with movie watching. As far as TV shows, I went over a couple of them. The MCU's been doing good stuff. Mayor of Easttown was really good, and rewatching Breaking Bad, but that's about it. Hope you all enjoyed this little one. Let me know any of the movies you watched down below. Let me hear your opinions. Let me hear your disagreements. Let me hear your recommendations for movies that I should watch in the future. Thank you so much, and peace.